Hey class, we are back and we are multiplying rational numbers. So we're looking at example 3 now. Now this is different. These aren't fractions. This is 2 times negative 0.51. And we're going to be multiplying decimals. Now are these decimals rational numbers? Yes. The answer, why is this decimal a rational number? Well, it's a rational number because it's a decimal that terminates. It's a decimal that stops. Remember, decimals that stop, terminate, or repeat, those are rational numbers. So we're just going to be practicing multiplying decimals. So here we go. I noticed that 2 is positive and that 0.51 is negative. So when I have a positive times a negative, I know right off the bat that my answer is going to be negative. Okay, so I'm not going to really worry about that negative right now. And remember, whenever you have these parentheses right here with the negative included and the 2 is right outside the parentheses, that means multiplication. So as you get higher and higher in mathematics, multiplication can be written in a variety of different ways. And so this is just whenever you see a number right outside, there's nothing in between, it's just the number and the parentheses, that always means multiplication. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just do multiplication off to the side by hand. What I notice is this number has more digits than 2, so I'm going to put this number on top. So I'm just going to put 0.51. That 0 is really unnecessary at this point, and then put 2 in the bottom. And then just do the multiplication. Excuse me. All right. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 5 is 10. All right, and that's pretty much it. Now, some students always are like, oh, where do I put the decimal? Well, what you do is you look at how many decimal places, how many place values there are to the right of the decimal, and here's a decimal right here. And you can see this is 1 place value to the right, and then here's another one. So there's actually 2 place values to the right. So what that means is that once you get your answer here, you move it over to the decimal. So that right now the decimal's right here, and you're going to move it over 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. Okay. So 1, 2. So the decimal goes right there, and our answer is negative 1.02. Awesome. Okay, let's go down to this next one. Okay, so this is negative 0.4 times negative 3.75. And notice here, this one's a little different. There's a parenthesis, there's a negative number, and then there's another negative number, and there's a parenthesis touching another parenthesis. Whenever you see a parenthesis touching another parenthesis, that is another form of just saying that something is multiplied by each other. So these 2 negative numbers are multiplied by each other. And so, yeah, also this is a negative multiplied by a negative. So what is our answer going to be? Whenever you multiply a negative times a negative, you are going to get a positive. So I'm not going to worry about the negatives. I know my answer is going to be positive. I'm going to just go ahead and do the multiplication here. So this number has more digits, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this one just has 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write this 3.75 times 0.4, and there's a 0 out on the outside, but I don't need to write it. It's not necessary. Okay, and we're just going to do the multiplication. So 4 times 5 is 20. Write the 0, carry the 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. Write the 0, carry the 3, and then 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So there we go. Now, since we're multiplying decimals, we need to count up the places to the right of the decimal. So here's a decimal, here's a decimal. How many place values are to the right? Well, here we have 1, 2, 3. Okay? What that means on our answer, if our decimal is right here at the end, we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3 places, and that's where we put our decimal. So 1, 2, 3. We move it over 1, 2, 3, and our answer is 1.5. And remember, it's a positive 1.5. because a negative times a negative is a positive. And I've never really write it like this, positive 1.5. I would just write it as 1.5, like that. There you go. Okay, now the time has come. The pause dragon is telling us that we need to pause. It is now time to pause, and I need you guys to work out, check it out, example 3A and B. So go ahead and do that on your own. And when you get done, then unpause the video and check your answers. Okay? You can do it. All right. All right, we are back. Let's see how you guys did. Okay, we have a positive number and a positive number. We're just going to go ahead and do the multiplication. I'd really like you guys to do this multiplication by hand. And we're just going to do it. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. We're going to the tens place here, so we need to make sure that we add a 0 here. This was in the 1 spot, and now this is in the 10 spot, so we need to start in the 10 spot here. So this is just a placeholder. You put the 0 right there first, and then you go for it. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6. And then we just add 8 times 0, 8 plus, my bad, we're adding. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. And there we go. That's our answer. Now it's time to count how many decimal places there are to the right of the decimal. So here we have 2 decimals. 1, 2. Okay, here is 1 spot to the right. Here's another to the right and another. So there's 3 spots. So that means we start here and we go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3 times. So our answer is, and I like to, whenever it's just a 0.8, I like to insert that 0 in the front. So 0.868. That is our answer, and that's how you show your work. Okay, down to the next one. We got negative 0.4. Remember, this is times negative 2.53. Okay, we got a negative and negative, so our answer is going to be positive. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and write this down. So we have 2.53 times 0.4, and we just do the multiplication. So 4 times 3 is 12, write the 2, carry the 1. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1, 21, carry the 2. 4 times 8, oh, whoops, my bad. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Okay. Now we count the decimal places to the right of the decimal. Here's a decimal, here's a decimal. To the right, we got 1, 2, 3. Move it over 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. That is our answer. 1, 2, 3, 1.012. 1.012, but we don't want to write that plus sign, so we're just going to write 1.012. Put a box around our answer. Boom. We did it. Woohoo! Hopefully you guys got that one right. All right. We will talk to you later.